Happy
Podcasting New Year! What you got, Perry? That's not even bourbon. That's champagne! Get that! What kind of podcast to do? And you broke it? I cleaned this place up for you and you do that?
Clean it again, right?
I guess so. Happy New Year. I'll clean some more.
Thanks, buddy. Happy New Year, everybody.
Champagne head.
Welcome back to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me is Eric the Whiskey Mutant, who is also our live-in maid.
Well, of course I know him. He's me. Oh, 2022, baby.
That was beautiful. I wasn't expecting that one. That was great. Hey guys, hope you've been well. Hope you've had a great New Year's. Hope you were safe and happy, and you spent time with people you like. Maybe not love, but at least like.
At least you could stand.
Yeah. Eric and I are recording this on New Year's.
Yeah.
So
Eve.
yeah.
It's us. It's our party. We can do what we want.
This is our New Year's celebration.
It is.
And it wouldn't be a New Year's celebration without me, before we get to the Sips and Snacks, actually doing a little bit of plugs up top.
Plug it.
You can follow us on social media at My Bourbon Pod and at Whiskey Mutant. You can also check out all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com and at whiskeymutant.shopify.com.
Yes, it's dropped by now.
When this episode comes out, you can go get some Whiskey Mutant merch. There's going to be a Whiskey Mutant shirt up on the Threadless shop, too, before too long. Working on that. Started that yesterday.
We got to dress everybody good for 2022.
Yeah, we do.
Make you look good.
That's your resolution. Dress your best.
Dress your best.
Dress to impress your best. And you can also become a patron of the show at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. $5 a month gets you bonus content like the Pours from the Floor, pregame chats, and early access to episodes that are completely uncut and unfiltered.
I say and stuff.
It was weird. He just went through a time warp.
I was real-time editing myself.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
It was really impressive. I had something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app of choice. If we have not seen it because we don't have that podcast app, please send us a screenshot.
Yeah.
So we can read it out here on the show. And if you're on Spotify, they allow ratings now. So leave us a 5-star rating. It would be super awesome if you did that. Now, though, it's the first Sips and Snacks of the new year.
And snacks. So, I decided to switch it up. Forgive me, Debbie, for I have sinned. We are going to do a classic. It's the Hostess chocolate cupcake. You know, the one, the only, the one with the little swirl on top.
The one that everybody thinks about.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Debbie. You do the exact same one, but I'm telling you, I've said this before, Hostess has the cupcake game on lock. So, I brought the cupcakes, and I said, Perry, grab your box of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that you just recently got, and you figure out what whiskey is going to pair best with this cupcake.
And I said, A118.
And I just smelled it, and it smells like chocolate. Oh my goodness.
It does. It smells like Hostess chocolate.
So, yeah, this is an enhancement pairing. This is not, we're going to turn this chocolate cupcake into something else. Perry's going for a full-blown chocolate cupcake bomb right here. Oh, they smell so much the same.
I'm going to go into a sugar coma.
I'm pouring it over right now. Pouring me a big spot in the cupcake. Oh, and it just dripped on my pants. Oh, my gracious. Perry. Oh.
That is money. Dude, that is absolute money.
That's so good. How much? Do you have any cupcake left?
Yeah.
Take it and just pour just a little bit on there. And it just...
I just really wanted to bite a cupcake.
Oh. Dude. We're starting out strong.
Yeah, we are. Happy New Year, everybody. It's spilled on my pants, too.
What's the proof on this?
130.6.
Man, that's a barrel-proof cupcake.
Starting out strong indeed. Man.
Oh. Dude. Did you just instantly, like, this is straight up, we didn't plan this. It took you like 1 second to pull that bottle out, because I said before the show, grab what you think will go with this, and you didn't even think about it.
So I had just had A118 at a restaurant bar a little while ago, a few days ago. And when I was trying it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is super chocolatey.
Dude, this finish on this thing is so much chocolate with
Yeah.
that cupcake. Ah,
It's killer.
if you have that at home, I mean,
I love it.
I just made a
That's
post.
one of my favorite pairings we've done
I've
so
just
far.
made a post about my favorite pairings of the past year, and
What a way to kick off 2022.
technically this is not going to be aired till 2022, so that's going to be a one to top right there.
We'll just roll it over
Oh, dude,
into the new year.
that's too good.
Man, I'm impressed. I am dressed to impress. Like you should be if you go to whiskeymutant.shopify.com or bourbonshop.threadless.com.
You look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you lost some weight.
Strangely enough,
His pants are falling down every time I walk into his house,
I literally was carrying our daughter down the stairs today.
and I just made you eat a cupcake with bourbon.
One step forward, two steps back, baby. No, I'm doing the apple cider vinegar pills, the keto pills, and they have just, I mean, like, I have not been able to go to the gym in months just because my schedule has been crazy. And I mean, I've been losing significant weight at this point, it feels like. So I'm pleased.
Wow.
Early tips and bits.
Tips and bits. No, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So we are skipping what have we been drinking recently this
Yeah.
week because we've literally, it's only been like 3 days since we've seen each other.
Yeah, and I've had to work the last like 3 days, so I had maybe one or two pours of like Wild Turkey 101, like coming home from work after I got done working out, just chill out. But other than like 2 sips of turkey, I haven't had anything, so
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say.
I mean,
what
I've been
drinking.
enjoying my box of Elijah Craig,
You did your
but-
live stream with the
Barrel New Year's.
but that Elijah Craig, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's where it's
This is
at.
Just,
So what we're going to do instead is we're going to hop right into the big one.
number 1?
No.
Right off the bat?
No, we can. That was a dumb sentence I said. No, we're going to hop into our top lists of 2021. Our top 10, some honorable mentions, our most disappointings as well.
Yeah, you're going to have to lead me through this because I've listened. I know the format, but when I'm actually here in the seat, I've got my list, but I'm just following your lead, brother.
All good, man. So,
Can I switch it up, though?
yeah. I'm going to follow your lead, but I'm going to let you finish in a second.
So, I don't know if you want to edit this or if you want to leave it in for Patreon. But
What are you doing right now?
I know we have the same number 1.
Yeah.
Do you want to drink on that while we talk about this? You don't have to say what it is. I made some trades.
Are you serious? Dude!
Do you want a big old Perry pour this?
Yes!
Open it, fresh crack.
I didn't think I was going to get any more.
So, we're not going to say what we are drinking right now because this is our number 1, both of us. And I went through my backup bottles and I consulted a few people and I said, how can I get this bottle? So, maybe after we reveal what it is for Patreon only, I'll tell you what trades I made to secure this. Fresh crack, baby.
I'm speechless. I am completely speechless.
There you go. Pour a big Perry pour of that straight out of there. That's going to be what we sip on while we talk about all this stuff. Get me a clean glass for it, too.
Oh, my Lanta. Dude, I can't believe this.
There is no... Pull this mic back. There was no way I was leaving this year without securing this. So, anyway, that's the hype for the number one.
Happy Perry.
There you go. Now that's a Perry pour. Here, take a picture of it and you can post it later after the show. Big old Perry pour.
Mm. You know, it was just one of those things where I was like, I'm not going to get to have this again for a while.
Couldn't let it happen.
No. Oh my gosh. You want me to give you like a couple $100 for a half of it?
No.
I'm kidding.
It's going to be there whenever you want some.
Oh. All right.
Okay. Now we're ready to start
My
talking
moment
about.
of zen. All right. So I'm going to lay out a couple of parameters for my list.
Okay.
Just because I like to do wide releases, which means that I tend to leave picks off of my list. And it's not saying you have to do that. I mean, if you have picks in your top 10, that's totally fine. But that's,
not much.
That's okay. That's
not anything.
And I mean, like, I have a slight caveat in my for one of my top 10.
Okay.
But I like usually picks that I have really liked go in like my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Everything else though received a semi-wide release.
Okay.
So that's how I approached it. I probably should have told you that before.
No.
But
I think
regardless.
I honestly, like, most of this stuff is pretty wide release, so I'm good.
So do you want to start with most disappointing of 2021?
Yes.
I feel like we're going to have a couple that are the same. If my notes app will load. The first one on mine is The Wise Man.
Mine too.
Because that bourbon
It was so bad.
sucks.
And I honestly thought that they were just going to try to go all out. Like, let's put out like this product that's just going to keep our line going and all that. But it was bad, man.
It was not good.
It was sour. I mean, I'm just going by what I remember about it, but it just was not good.
Yeah. I had high hopes for it, and I really did want it to be accessible and just decent.
I honestly was hoping it
it's
would
not
be
even decent.
I was hoping it would be a $55 bottle of Confiscated. I was hoping for that.
Yeah. And
I
it
like
wasn't even that.
Confiscated, but not at that price, and it was not that at all.
It wasn't even close to that.
No.
It was so disappointing.
No, it was.
Yeah. Dickel Bourbon.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't like
we
it
went
either.
back. We went back to it the other night. It was okay, but it's still not like anything special. to
No.
me. An 8-year age-stated bourbon. I didn't. There was nothing special about it.
Yeah, I felt like it should have had more depth. I don't know. I think there's just something about the water that Dickel uses and their grains and everything that just doesn't really mesh well for me. I know that it has performed well for other people. Cough, whiskey advocate, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I thought it was okay. This is go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say I was going to give Basil Hayden Toast a chance because I thought it may be a little bit different. It just wasn't good either.
Yeah, it's on mine too.
Okay, it just wasn't good.
No,
and I see people like posting about it, like, "Hey, they got Basil Hayden Toast. Go get some." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Save your money."
Yeah, I overpaid for it to the point where I could have gotten 2 bottles.
Yeah,
for the one, and that was strictly because I wanted to have it on the podcast for content's sake. But it just nah. It scored like what, a 6 out of 20 for us or something.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Not great. This one's not necessarily like it was bad, but I just kind of didn't have one that made me go, wow. And that's this year's Old Fitz Bottled and Bond releases.
Yeah, which one did we have? You got a sample of one.
Yeah,
didn't you?
we got the spring.
Was it 8 or 11? Either way, it didn't leave
it doesn't
any
matter.
impression
See,
on
like
me.
that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we're questioning it right now is like,
And people are, setting up chairs, and now Heaven Hill's making a whole new process for their special releases.
and I mean, I still love the bottle. I still think that it is perfectly priced in terms of what you are getting after paying for it. But I just think it's not. It was not a great year for Old Fitz Bottled and Bond.
I would rather save a little bit of money and wait for even if it's not great, I would rather get like the 15 or the 16-year-old just because of the price. Like a 16-year-old weeded Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond for $160 is basically a steal.
Yeah,
but yeah, it didn't impress me that much. Don't impress me much.
What's another most disappointing for you?
Larceny Barrel Proof.
I actually included that in my honorable mentions.
Did you?
Just the C921.
I think you liked that one a little bit more than I did.
I did, but again, overall this year, they have got to figure out what they are doing with that
much
product.
Potential.
So much.
And
So much potential.
I've not had one that I've really wanted more of.
No. By the way, we made the good choice with our number one for this year. This is an incredible bourbon.
Jesus. Yeah, I could honestly just sip this all evening. Like, so good. Disappointing. Can't really. I had most of that stuff. That was what I wrote down. Now I'm just trying to think of stuff.
Yeah, Booker's I still think needs improvement. The past couple of years have just been a wash.
I think I tried one of this year's Booker's, and nothing's impressed me.
This is 2021-03. Have you tried this one?
Let me try it. I'll use my other glass because I'm saving that.
Yeah, don't.
But Booker's, to me, there's only random ones that I actually like. I like Country Ham. I liked
Kentucky Chew was
the yellow.
amazing.
It was the yellow label. Yeah.
Oh, I miss Kentucky Chew so much.
I kind of like the Beaten Biscuits, but
yeah, Front Porch Batch I think is still my favorite of all time. That and Bluegrass Batch. Those two bourbons are spectacular.
See, what was this one? The third one?
Yeah, this is 125.5 proof, 6 years and a 6.5 years. Excuse me.
I mean, it just tastes like a Knob Creek.
But yeah, I mean, like pay half of what you would for a bottle of Booker's and get a Knob Creek.
It's not anything that I would get out of a box and have all that special stuff going on and expect it and putting it. Maybe I'm putting it up against this other thing, but I don't know. I'm not a big Booker's guy.
I mean, for us, it was like, what is our number one this year and what follows right after it? It was just kind of like working around whatever our number one was.
It's not bad, but
no,
I would rather buy Knob Creek.
And I've got one more most disappointing. This one was just kind of like, I had such high hopes for it. And then I got a bottle and I was like, could have been so much more. Ezra 99.
I bought one bottle, and that was one of those curiosity bottles.
Yeah.
So, you just buy it. And
I know I have one around here somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care enough to find it, but it was so boring and plain. And I thought, maybe if it's, up to snuff with Turkey 101, I could at least have it readily available, excuse me. And it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. I pretty much said every one.
Yeah,
I wrote down
I don't
as far
have
as
anything
disappointments.
This is honestly one of my. I struggled to fit everything into my top 10. Like, I probably could have had a top 20 if I tried, but my honorable mentions are, like a lot of them I love to death, but there were just so many things that came out this year that I think were more fitting of a top 10 that I just had to make like the choice to say, well, it didn't quite make the cut. But
you can almost say like it's like whatever, however many honorable mentions you had that you could have a top 15 or something like that. So
I could have had a top 25.
Damn. I'm at 15.
Yeah.
I did 5 honors and then the top 10.
There was so much good stuff that came out this year.
It was a good year.
It was a really, and like now that I'm looking at my list, I mean,
and there's even stuff we haven't got to try yet.
Yeah, like Coy Hill, we actually have a sample of on the way, and it probably could have made our top 10 if we had tried it in 2021, but we haven't. That's the other thing too. All of our top 10 has to be something that we've tried.
Yeah,
like it's not like
the last Stag Junior batch. Like 16,
I haven't had any of the Stag Junior from this year.
Just the pick we got to try the other day.
Yeah. This is a funny honorable mention, but I have loved this so much. Jim Beam Highball.
the mixed drink?
Yeah. Dude, it is killer.
Is it carbonated?
Yeah.
See, I don't do a lot of carbonated
stuff. It's crushable.
So.
Oh, man. I loved it so much.
I like that, though.
Yeah. Blue Run 14 could have made it into my top 10. Could have honestly been like a number 11 if I had gone that way.
We got a sample of that from Whiskey Mork.
Do we really?
Yeah, he sent me a package and I just got it the other day.
Oh, awesome. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We had it at OBC a while ago.
Yeah.
And I was deeply, deeply impressed with it.
He knows my love for the higher aged Blue Run, and he knows how I feel about the younger one. So he sent me some stuff.
I'm psyched, man. I'm psyched for you to try that. I'll do another one, and then I'll give it over to you.
All right.
The Rabbit Hole Mizunara,
okay,
which was their like $500 bottle, or whatever it was. It's ridiculously expensive, and honestly, this is kind of being colored by just memories that I have of it, and just kind of the whirlwind of that day that I got to have hanging out at Rabbit Hole with Adam, and just being able to enjoy all that.
Yeah.
I think that was the same day that I went to. Oh, this is another disappointing one. Was
it the Evan Williams?
The Evan Williams Square 6.
I remember you telling me about that.
Ugh,
I wasn't on the podcast yet, but we were talking about it. And
bad, man. Real bad stuff. But I finished out the day with that Rabbit Hole, and that was fantastic.
That could lead into one of my honorable mentions.
Go for it.
When we picked up a bottle of that first Rabbit Hole single barrel from Party Source.
Oh yeah,
I really like it. It wasn't nothing crazy that I would be like, this is my top 10, but it's really good. It was so honey forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to go back to it and see if it pairs with like a honey bun or something like that. But I really enjoyed that. That was one of the first picks that they put out, and we got to put it on the podcast. So a little bit of memory added to it, and a little bit of I really liked it. Put it in my honorable mentions.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Thomas S. Moore Chardonnay finished for me. I really, really liked that bourbon. It just was like, I had always wanted to try a Chardonnay finished bourbon, and I think it just kind of met my expectations. I know that there are other Chardonnay finished bourbons out there that I have not yet tried. So if there's anything that somebody would like for us to try, please let me know. So you can maybe send us a sample. I don't know.
Sample.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Stella Bourbon and Rye. I lumped these in together.
Oh, I'll agree with that. I'll put that on there because I tried those here with you.
Yeah.
And I thought they were pretty good.
I think that the rye is definitely better than the bourbon, but I think that the bourbon is such a solid entry-level bourbon for the barrel products. I think it's great. Honestly, like, if I had to name like a producer of the year, for me, it's between Maker's Mark and Barrel. Like, Barrel Craft Spirits,
I'd put Maker's Mark up there for sure.
Barrel Craft Spirits wowed me this year with everything that they put out. And my last one before I turn it over to you for another one is the Single Cask Nation Wild Turkey Warehouse G pick.
Oh, that was good.
It was incredible. It was so limited and just so hard to get for a lot of people that I wanted to put it in my top 10 because I love it that much, but I couldn't quite get myself
I had one
over
like that too.
Yeah, and I just love that bottle so much. It was such a killer pick. Again, not tried the Warehouse A one, so if anybody wants to help us out.
Oh, let's see what I got. I'll do two here because they're from the same place. These were two Willet products. The Willet Burra we did.
Yeah.
It was the 10-year MGP and like what was it, 6-year Willet bourbon.
I think so. Yeah.
I thought there was a little bit that it lacked to put it in the top 10, but it was I was so happy to grab that.
Yeah. I was impressed with it.
And then, not your favorite, but I really enjoyed that Willet.
The blackened. Yeah. I thought about that. That was in my like considerations.
I need to bring it back over the next time you come over to the house. Try it again because
for sure.
It's opened up a lot more, and I just still get a lot more of that Willet rye that I love with just a little bit of extra finish on it. I don't hear, Metallica in it when I start drinking it. But as far as a finished Willet rye product, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. Especially being a Willet fan, I thought it was good to mention again.
Good.
So,
yeah. This is one that we both loved to death, and honestly had a weird physical reaction to. But the Sealbox Kings County hazmat pick.
I had that in like a little asterisk. I was like, I don't know if I can put that because I was kind of thinking nobody else got it, and I don't know anybody else who got it. But we enjoyed the hell out of that.
We really did, and I'm just tickled that we even got to try it.
I look at that and I go, why didn't that come in $7.50? Because I want more of it.
Because it would have been $200 a bottle.
I would have paid it.
Yeah, no. But I love that pick so much. It's so wild and crazy and out there and just, oh my gosh,
I love that we did it. We reviewed it on a live together.
Yeah.
One of my first live streams.
Yeah.
And then Blake, who picked it, from Silbox
Oh, yeah,
Bourbon.
he stopped in the chat, too.
Yeah, because I had messaged him. I was like, do you know some more details about this? And then I told him we were going to review it, and he stopped in and saw that. So that was a cool memory, along with 150 plus proof bourbon.
Oh, man, it was so good. So good. I already mentioned Larceny Barrel Proof C921. That was the best one out of the year. Even still, it wasn't enough to crack the top 10. And then Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. I thought was pretty good this year. I mean, it wasn't
way better than last year.
I wasn't disappointed by it.
No.
You got another honorable mention?
I do. I'm going to go with. I know not everybody's going to be able to get this, but going back and constantly sampling this stuff while we're recording, it was the handy from this year's BTAC.
Oh yeah,
I think it ended up being one of my favorites after I'd had it once and came back to it.
Yeah.
It was so good. It's nothing crazy, but it's just a great rye. We've
talked about this a little bit, and this is where we officially kind of make this statement this week. But WLW did get bumped from my top 10. And I mean,
it almost could have been on a disappointing, compared to other WLWs.
I still really liked it, but it just fell flat in comparison to other bourbons that came out this year.
Especially when we compared it to some stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, I agree. The Handy was fantastic this year. It wasn't, I think, memorable enough though for me to put it in my top 10, but I definitely include that in the honorable mentions.
I feel like it could be almost like a Stag Junior style release.
Yeah, I agree.
Like an every 2 or 3 quarter release of Handy Junior or something like that. That sounds horrible.
Dry Handy.
Yes, whatever. That rye should be
sorry everybody. I'm sorry. We're getting randy this week.
You're wild. But I think that rye could be a more common release as opposed to just the BTAC.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Beryl Seagrass. was an honorable mention for me.
A lot of people like opened up to that. Like some people at the beginning, I feel like were giving it bad reviews.
Well,
and then all of a sudden,
I did not like it at all when I first tried it.
I feel like I tried it when we did the meetup and I didn't like it either.
You probably did. I think that there was a full bottle of it, but
Yeah.
I got sent a 200 milliliter sample, and at the time, like when I first got it, I did not like it at all. But going back and accepting it for what it is and how funky and out of this world the process was behind making it, I like it. I like it a lot. Clifton actually put it as his number one.
Damn,
Yeah.
Cliffy.
And I get it. I can understand why that would be something that people find really, really attractive. I mean, like, his argument was that they were going outside of the box.
Yeah.
And they were doing something different, something that they weren't totally comfortable with. And I mean, in some ways, maybe our top 10 is a little bit safer.
Yeah.
But this is, if we're just talking about
Well,
what we liked or what we loved.
I love when they came out with Dovetail because I feel like that was crazy out of there.
Yeah. I haven't had Dovetail in forever. I know I've got a sample of it around
I've got
here
a half
somewhere.
of a bottle left.
Do you?
Yeah, for when it first came out.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is crazy stuff. The New Riff 6-year malted rye. I don't know if you've had that yet, but
Yeah, I have a bottle.
Eric Jansen came down a little while ago. I think it was last month. And we went over to the Breeze at Gray Line Station. And,
I remember that.
Yeah, and they had it for sale, and he grabbed it, and we cracked it like while we were sitting outside of the bar. Really, really good rye, man.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I got to try that when I helped do a barrel pick with Wrestling with Whiskey.
Nice.
That was our little like extra pour that they give you. It's really good. I really like it.
Did you get to go to the distillery for that?
Hmm?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I got to do 2.
So Matt has been nearby, and still he doesn't want to.
I hound him
to be on
about
the
it every time.
podcast.
And now he's wrestling again, so it's like almost impossible to get him on here. So I'm going to hound him again about
What a
it.
jerk trying to make money. And this one, I just kind of lumped everything in together because I liked them both, but together they were better than they were on their own. The Maker's Mark FAE releases this year. I don't know what to say. Like, I did a review of the FAE 01 on my YouTube channel. We reviewed the 2, and then we blended both of them together.
Right. The blend was
And
the best.
The blend is superior, but I can't comfortably say, like, oh, the blend of the 2 is in my top 10.
Yeah.
So, it just, I had to throw it in the honorable mentions just because the 2 of them separate are good, but combined, they're phenomenal.
Yeah. That's where it's at.
So, yeah. What you got? What you got? What you got? What you got?
Last one on my honors was the Peerless Double Oat.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
Oh, I love
Man,
that.
I love that one.
It was so good.
It was. It's the price that kind of throws me
Yeah.
a little bit, but it overall, dude,
I think you expect that price from Peerless anyway.
I think you do too, but I just wanted it to be, and it's never going to be because double oak products are always going to be more
Right.
expensive, but I wanted it to be more approachable price-wise. Man, a really, really good bourbon, though.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, we had that on here with Swan.
We did have
episode
that with Swan.
200.
Oh, Swanee.
Swan.
Talk about Swan here in a little bit. So I've got 3 more honorable mentions,
Go
and then
for
we'll
it.
move into our top 10. Parker's Heavy Char Wheat Whiskey
Oh, that was a good one.
was really good. I was very, very impressed by it. I think that the Heavy Char products that they've come out with over the past 3 years have been really good.
That Heavy Char bourbon, I was so happy I picked that up when I did. It's one of my favorite of all time.
Yeah, I agree. I've finished my sample.
10-year,
a while
120
ago.
proof Heavy Char.
Heavy Char bourbon.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Fantastic. The Buzzard's Roost bourbon that came out this year, really, really liked it, man. I know it's a little bit expensive. That was kind of one of the reasons that I had to leave it off my top 10. But I do think that if you are looking for a really good younger bourbon, I think that it pretty much is what you're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, it ticks all the boxes. It's just a little bit more expensive
Right.
than everything else. And this was a late addition to my list, but one that I felt compelled to include in some capacity. And I only left it off of my top 10, again, because of cost, but the Widow Jane 15.
Oh, that thing's so good.
The vaults. What an incredibly balanced bourbon that is. Tennessee and Indiana sourced, 99 proof. I mean, it's 15 years old, dude.
It's so good.
It held its own against the Four Roses OBSV single barrel.
Well, so I guess I'll say that not the Widow Jane, the Four Roses was probably in my honors because
it's in mine too. And I should have thought about that before now, but
it's the memory around it. It's not a wide release.
What a day that was, you going to get that.
Yeah,
though.
the memories around it. Me and Perry drank like a quarter of it ourselves. And then I sat there and I said, you know what? I don't even know if I want to drink this anymore. Not because it's not good, because it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because I want to save it for people who may have not got to get it. So I sent some samples to friends. Darren came over the other day to pick up his picks. He got to try it, and I'm like, I just want people to try this that didn't get a chance to try it. So
I would have a hard time keeping myself away from it.
Dude, I put it back in the corner.
Good for you.
Hard
to get to.
I would have to like go through a maze to get it. But I think I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna grab a marker, and I'll have you sign it, and the people I sent samples to, I'll have them sign it. Get Darren again to sign it. I just want to sign it. That bottle, all the hype, all the craziness of that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just everybody that got to share it with me, I'm going to have them sign the bottle. And when it's empty, it's empty, awesome. And I'll keep the bottle. So
it's awesome. Here we are, our top 10.
I'm nervous.
I am a little bit as well, but I'm also confident in my choices.
I'm confident.
This is a weird list for me.
I just don't want anybody to be like, stupid. This list is stupid.
What an idiot.
Who's stupid?
Can't believe you do that.
He didn't put Blanton's on his list. Favorite bourbon.
Oh, yeah, Blanton's, that famous whiskey that just came out in 2021.
Didn't put that 21 dump date on there. I don't know.
All right, number 10.
Da, da, da.
I put the new Evan Williams 1783.
Okay.
I was so impressed with it. I know that a lot of people are bummed that the Heaven Hill Green Label 90 proof 6-year is basically gone because of this product. But honestly,
I got backups. I don't care.
Well, it's not. Okay, yes. But also, like, this product is so good and it's such a great everyday drinker. Holds up in cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Easily accessible.
Yep.
I mean, this might be the most accessible product I have on my list. Save maybe one or two.
Me too. I don't have that one on my list, but I'm just going off that.
Yeah, but I was just blown away by this bottle. I think that Heaven Hill made the absolute right move.
Well, I think that they added
this one up.
Yeah, they added a new product that you could afford and just keep as a shelfer. Like, I want to have it for neat when I'm, you've had a few of your LEs. I want to go to something good. I want to make a good old fashioned or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and I do think it was a considerable step up too from the previous one, the 86 proof or whatever it was. It just has more punch, more bite. It's a better bourbon all around. What's your number 10?
Number 10. It's also a new product this year. This was the Pursuit Series bourbon.
That is on my list.
Oh, okay.
Mine is actually a little bit higher, though.
Well, sorry.
As it's not my number 10. But,
sorry, Kenny.
But, dude,
Cecil.
How good was it, though?
It's great.
I mean,
I put it on my top 10. Like,
yeah.
As a new product, guys that, you listen to and they did their thing and they did a blend as something that, Beryl's doing and all that. They made a blend that's great.
Yeah.
Like,
and pretty much widely available.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I that's kind of that thing that people have been asking me over the past couple of years with the podcast. I say I do a bourbon podcast, and they're like, "Oh, do you ever want to put out your own bourbon?" And ideally, like, yeah, I would love to do something like that, but I don't think that it's any more doable than the way that Kenny and Ryan are doing it. I mean, that is just so ideal, I think, and absolutely they have knocked it out of the park.
I really want to try the rye.
We are supposed to be getting a bottle of the rye.
Nice.
I sent Kenny the address and everything, so
Sweet.
I'll get a little update from him soon. Number 9. I lumped a couple together, but
I did too.
our top 10 lists are turning out to be very similar. My number 9 is jointly the Rebel and Ezra single barrels at 120 proof. Huge step up from the like variant proofs that they were at before. I think honestly, the Rebel picks are some of the best weeders to come out.
120 proof.
Yeah, I think that like, and I liked the Ezra. I loved the Rebel.
Right.
I did not have a bad Rebel pick this year. It's just some of the best weeded bourbon that is on the market right now. And I think that Lux Row made the right decision by allowing it to be a higher proof. Still sticking at like $60. I mean, where else are you getting basically barrel strength weeded bourbon?
Yeah.
For that price? Nowhere. So for sure, Lux Row knocked this one out of the park. Is yours the Makers?
Mine is the Fatty Acid Makers 1 and the Fatty Acid Makers 2 blended together. I know that's kind of cheating, but
I think it's fine.
These were 2 widely released.
Yep.
You could get them both. And like Perry said in his honors, both were good. Like, you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah. It was the 2 of them together.
But it's like completing a set of something. You put both of them together, a 1-to-1 ratio, and they just make this awesome, like, limited weeded bourbon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mine was the Fatty Acids Makers 1 and 2 blended together. So, I kind of cheated, but...
Fatty acids.
Isn't that what it stands for?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
They were that... Huh. I always thought it was about the finishing staves.
I don't know. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
I feel like I read something about fatty acids. Anyway,
you could have.
Go on.
Number 8 is where I put Pursuit United.
Oh, okay.
I can't say any more than I've already said.
Yeah.
They killed it. They absolutely knocked it out of the park.
What are we, number 8 now?
Number 8.
One of your other honors. I put the New Riff.
The 6-year malted rye.
Yep, the 6-year malted rye. I tried, like I said before, I tried it just as a pour at the pick, and then I immediately made sure I got a bottle.
Yeah.
I think it was one. I'm looking. I didn't put any other ryes on my top. It was probably my favorite new rye of 2021.
This is the first year in a couple of years I actually don't have any ryes on my top 10.
That thing is just so good.
Yeah.
It's just candy. It's sweet, like you've already talked about it, but I love that rye so much.
It's nougaty, too.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's got like a really...
It changes flavors. Like, you
really
go back
does.
yeah, I love that thing so much. So, yeah, I put that on as my... What number are we at? 7?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, though. Barrel Bourbon Batch 30.
Oh, that was good.
It was a really, really good batch. The fact, too, I was thinking about this as I was going through my top 10, but the fact that, like, Pursuit United and Barrel 30 are back-to-back.
And they're kind of the similar thing.
Yeah, I think that kind of says something, about where my palate has been throughout this year.
But you can't deny it. They're doing good stuff. Both of them. Blending,
for sure.
Blended different mash bills in different places.
If it works, it works. I can't be upset about it.
Yep.
Number 7 for Mr. Eric.
Okay, so...
It's weird.
What? Mr. Eric?
Yeah, I didn't like it. Just
Mr. Eric.
I'm going to roll with it, though.
Okay, so it's another cheater, but I think everybody will understand. I didn't have a particular pick of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof this year that I thought was phenomenal. I liked the B series this year the most.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. But what I liked this year were Elijah Craig Barrel Proof picks.
In general.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with the Rebel and Ezra picks.
Yes. I liked that they started the picks, and all the picks me and Perry got to try, I thought were just different from each other. Some were kind of like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Some were way different. I just kind of lumped Elijah Craig Barrel Proof picks as a top experience for me this year.
I mean, the best one that we had, I think, was the Carolina Whiskey Society one.
Yes.
The 10-year 121.4 proof.
Right. We had the
release.
Kroger, which was crazy
wild.
Different. You know, we had the Mash and Journey, which was one of the most, like, just, it's like you knew it was Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, but it was like raw, uncut, like heavy hitting. Railbird was pretty good. But yeah, that whole series, not series, but that whole category of just Elijah Craig Barrel Proof picks was what I love. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 6. Master's Keep one. I love it. I really do. I think that it's everything that a toasted turkey product should be. There's just other products that I like that came out this year better.
I think that they played it safe and they kept it turkey and they just did a little bit of toasting.
And I think that's exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It was, as we said on that episode, the most accessible toasted bourbon palette. It is expensive though.
Yeah.
I mean, almost $200. I think this is the most expensive bottle on my list.
Yeah.
But it's such a great bourbon, and I think of it so fondly. I just wish it were cheaper.
Yes.
But anyway. That's the only one I think in my top 10 that I have to like kind of wrestle with a little bit, and I have to argue with myself over. But I still love it.
So
you're number 6.
My number 6. So it's kind of a pick. Well, it is a pick, but it's a distillery only pick. It was the Wilderness Trail Derby pick for 2021.
Oh, it was so good.
It was their weeded mash bill.
I love that bourbon.
And I know I thought about all my wide releases and all that, but there are people that got it and all that. But, dude, that thing, so good.
It is really, really good.
It was, I know it right now. Strawberry butter biscuits.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I remember when that was all right, hello, Marie. That was one of those that we kind of had together, and we were both like, oh my goodness gracious,
well,
this is
and then we brought it, it was right around the time of the meetup too, so we brought it to the meetup and everybody was loving it. So yeah, that one made it for taste and memories for me.
Absolutely. Into the top 5. Do you want to start the top 5, or do you want me to start the top 5?
Let me start.
Do you want to stop or start?
Start, sorry. Because you've already said this one. Okay. This was Master's Keep 1.
Yeah, see, like, we were one spot away from each other.
And I don't have to say anything else about it. I already said it. It's just the little bit of toasted marshmallow that I love on toasted products, but you add it to that, little bit of higher age turkey product. And I thought it was a great product. Maybe not, it's not number 1.
Yeah.
But it's top 5 for me. Number 5.
Yeah.
Master Keep 1.
My number 5 is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A121. Oh, I drank the crap out of that bourbon this year. I bought, 4 or 5 bottles of it this year. And I think that C921 might be a slightly better bourbon. But just like thinking about what I enjoyed the most out of the three of them this year, A121 for sure for me. I didn't hate B521. I was just kind of indifferent on it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good bourbon. It just wasn't really Elijah Craig barrel proof for me.
Right.
So if I had any like hopes or dreams for the next year, I really would like to see a return to like over 130 proof Elijah Craig barrel proofs.
Yeah, they kept getting lower and lower. I feel like.
I mean, I think the highest we got this year was like 122.
122, 23, something like that.
Yeah. So hopefully next year we see, I mean, you know, kid can dream, but a hazmat Elijah Craig again.
We need it.
I will buy the heck out of that. I will.
You can just go line up at the distillery all the time.
I will. Every day. That'll be my job. Just going and lining up at the distillery. Number 4.
All right. I apologize. It's not a single barrel, but many people may not be able to get it. It was Eagle Rare 17. That was to me the best BTAC this year, and it just hit something in my like taste buds in my brain that was like, this is the best purple cotton candy high age 18-year-old bourbon that you've ever had, and you're never going to forget it.
Well, Eric, you and I think very much alike. That was also my number 4.
Whoa! Do we have any of that left? Did we promise that to anybody?
I'm going to hold on to it just in case we did.
If we don't, we're going to kill that together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we did.
This was the first year that I not only liked an Eagle Rare 17, but that I loved an Eagle Rare 17. Every other year, it's been like dry and bitter and really just like difficult to drink. And this was the year that I just kind of I was able to see the tides turning.
It's so good.
It's so good, man.
I don't even care that it was out of a little plastic sample bottle. Like, I told myself if I ever went crazy and tried to get a BTAC this year, it was going to be that one.
Yeah, pay your $850 for an antique collection.
Probably more than that.
Yeah. Number 3.
I feel like we got the same top.
I think we do.
We may have a different 2 and 3.
I don't know if we do.
My third favorite whiskey, bourbon, whatever you want to say, of the year, Russell's Reserve 13 year.
Oh, I think we might be flipped.
I think we are. I know we are.
Yeah, mine's the Maker's DNA 125.
My second is the Maker's DNA 125.
And my second is Russell's 13. This was like splitting hairs for me.
It was close. I mean, it's almost the same.
Yeah.
I love the Russell's 13 so much. It was better than the Master's Keep. It was one of those bottles that you just said, I have to have that. And when you got it, you said, I need another one.
Yeah. I think that's why and I mean, don't get me wrong, the 125 is amazing.
Yes.
And I love it so much, and I wish that I could have my own bottle of it. It's so limited, though. It's really hard to find. But you know how quickly that Russell's 13
Oh, I see it. It's right here.
disappeared.
It's literally right in front of me. And there's
Like 2 ounces
barely
left.
any.
Yeah, so
It's just...
part of me wants to kill that, but the other part of me is like,
save it for something. Maybe we'll do like a top 3 or something one day. But
yeah.
That was the first bottle I reviewed on the podcast.
That was your very first
official review.
Yeah.
And it's just
even like sentiment alone.
Yeah.
Like that is such a fun memory to have as like my number 2.
It was maple bacon donuts. I will remember it because it's got this funky, like savory, salty note, but at the same time, it's got this sweet, like maple donut in it.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you had the DNA as 3. I had it as 2 because that thing came out of nowhere.
It really did.
And I literally took... Go ahead.
The back half of this year was just like curveball after curveball for us trying to like figure out what our top 10 was, I feel like. And you're right. It did come out of nowhere. But it is everything that a high proof wheated bourbon should be. It is an immaculate whiskey.
It really just showed me, because we were very curious. We talked about it on episode. We were very curious of what Maker's Mark could do with higher proof and single barrels, or, you know, different things. And I sat here and it went up against WLW, and it absolutely killed it. It made WLW feel like a flat, watered down weeder.
Yeah.
And it was a bottle I took a chance on, but it was a bottle that I got because I was a loyal customer.
Yeah.
I got a discount on it. They let me pick one.
So the truth comes out now. You said you got it from a friend on the original episode.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said it was a gift.
Yeah, it was a gift from a friend who works. I told you that.
At the store that you frequent the most.
Yeah, I told you that, and then I said, well, I don't want to say anything about it. But yes, I was lucky enough to get that from a friend who works at a liquor store who said, you're a good customer, and here you go.
You know what I think needs to happen this year is getting to do a pick with them.
Yeah.
I think that they would be all for it, and I think that it would give us the opportunity to do more than just like our little releases.
Yeah.
Our little picks.
So
if
anybody listening hasn't figured it out yet, if you are a loyal listener, you probably know what this is. Tell them.
Look, I want to preface this for a second. I have, over time, since the podcast started, been more and more skeptical of Buffalo Trace. It has been harder and harder for me to accept them for what they are and to say that they are the best distillery on the market. But every now and then, they come out with a product that just shows us that everything that is built up hype-wise at times is well-deserved. And I think that this product absolutely deserves the acclaim, all the accolades. We are not the only media platform, because I can't remember if it was on a podcast or not, that has named this their number one. But I think it just goes to show that this bourbon not only came out of left field, but was such a hitter from the moment that we tried it, that there was no question that everything else this year that came out had to live up to how deep, complex, perfectly round, almost a perfect score that we gave it on the podcast as well. It just had no peers, I felt like. And that's Peerless Rye. No, just kidding. But the E.H. Taylor barrel proof from this year.
127.3. I don't even know what batch number it is. Like
I don't care.
Or something.
I don't care.
This year's.
It's funny because like I say this and I don't really have like anything other than the podcast tied to it, but it just feels like a special whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
It feels almost like a once in a lifetime kind of deal. And I mean, past years of E.H. Taylor barrel proof have been great.
They're always great.
But this is the one that sets the standard for like every year to come.
And we both kind of looked at each other when we both tried it the first time. We're like,
it between like this and the Maker's 125. Where I think both of us, yeah, you're right. We were like going into it saying, we're just gonna try it because hey, it's crazy. We're gonna get to have it, and but I mean, like the first time I drank this bourbon, I was like, "There's no chance that the Russell's 13 is going to stay as my number one. No chance." Everything about this bourbon is ideal, I feel like, for me. This could survive water added to it. It would pull through in any cocktail. I think that it's going to survive. It could survive the apocalypse.
It's going to survive a pour over in a snack cake. Because I'm going to figure out what the best thing to pair with this thing is.
What are your thoughts right now as to what it could pair best with?
Well, right now, off the top of my head, it's a jelly cream cake from Little Debbie because it's chocolate, vanilla, and it's got this really strong cherry cream in the middle. And this thing is just, it's if you took all your favorite Buffalo Trace and you made notes and you made them 100 times better.
I agree. I really, really agree.
It's just, I'm not going to sit here and say it's, oh, this is this and that. It's all your favorite notes, the best you've ever had them. It's literally one of the best bourbons I've ever had.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think you said the same thing.
I fully agree. I mean, the fact that what did we, like you gave it a 19 and I gave it a 19.5 out of 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally almost a perfect score.
And that was us being really picky.
Yeah.
I mean, so now the cat's out of the bag. I told myself, I'm not leaving this year without getting one.
I cannot.
And this thing is going for.
You got this.
What is this? An $80 bottle?
Yeah.
And it's going for $500 to $600.
I think the highest I've seen so far has been $650. But Andrew West in Canada, one of our patrons and listeners, said after our glowing review, he went and looked on secondary, and in Canadian dollars, it was like $1,100, which was like $750 American.
Patrick Sarkey got one.
Yeah, at a really good price, too. Yeah. And I wanted him to go back and get the other one for me. Okay, I'm sorry, for us.
Yeah. So, I was like, I got to get this. And I said, the time is now because I know me and Perry are going to have the same top. And I want to drink it while we talk about this. So,
I'm feeling really good, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
And I had a Perry pour of this. Like,
So I looked at my bourbons and I said, what can I get that will equal this? So you can put this in the main episode. We can skip over it. I don't care.
You know what? I'm just going to leave it in.
This E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof for this year was traded to me for Elmer T. Lee, which I don't have another one. That was my last Elmer. And a Weller Antique pick from 2018.
Oh, my gosh.
That was a non-chill filtered screw top from California that I had won in a raffle.
That's how much you wanted this bourbon.
Yeah. I don't think I'll... But you know what? When I compare...
I am so lucky to have you on the podcast.
But, okay, so Elmer T. Lee. It's a great bourbon. But I don't have to have that anymore. Okay? Yeah. I don't have to have it. I may never get one again. I don't care. It's a 90 proof. It's close to Blanton's. Whatever. You know, I've traded it. I'm very fond of 107 picks, as you know.
I know.
But I have some other picks still, open and closed. I have foolproof picks open and closed, and I wanted to make sure I got it. So that was my combo to get this bottle. So
I don't have the words.
And like I said, I open my bottles, but if I have backups of stuff, I am not against trading somebody for something you want. I'm not going to go and try to sell. I'm not going to go and try to make a profit on a bottle and all this. But if I can trade some bottles that I'm okay trading with to get something I really want, so be it. So there we go. Number 1, baby.
What a great number 1, though.
Dude, it's so good.
What's so funny about the past few years, I feel like, and I say past few, this is the 4th year that we've been doing the podcast, and I guess only the 4th time that we've done our best of episodes. But
a few is 2, so.
Well, yeah. I go 3. I say a few is 3. Yeah.
Well,
a couple is 2. Few is at least 3.
Okay. I'll meet you there.
So for the past few years, I feel like my number 1 has been pretty cut and dry. Like I haven't had to, think about it too much.
Yeah.
And, like I said earlier about this one, it's just kind of been figuring out where all the other pieces fit.
But it was like an instant. Like you're like, pfft.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this was choice.
Yeah, I had to. I had to get it.
I'm not upset about it.
I'm not upset.
And I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's,
This
everybody.
was our New Year's pour. Look at that. We got plenty left to go. We want some more. I may have some at home, but there will be some.
I feel like every time I'm going to come over to your house, I'm going to have a little bit of it.
Are you going to chug it?
No. 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 Which is not to say that I shouldn't have chugged you, George T. Stagg.
But
it was fun.
Is this George T. Stagg?
I think it's better.
Is this the 2021 George T. Stagg?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't quite have the bite that George T. Stagg normally does.
This
is a better whiskey.
Yeah. So good.
Is
that it?
Yeah. For the top 10. But also, this has been a very tumultuous year. There have been a lot of moving parts with the podcast, and I was very, very grateful that you basically said absolutely yes when I asked you to fill in as the new co-host. And I have had so much fun since you've joined. And this kind of feels like and it's not to say that, the years prior weren't enjoyable or fun either, but this has always been kind of what I wanted the podcast to be. Somebody who was excited about it and passionate about it and wanted to get into it the way that I wanted to, support it and be excited about it. And I just don't know anything else other to say than thank you for everything that you have given this year to the show. And you've really only been on for 4 months.
I feel like
it feels like you've been on for 2 years at this point.
Thank you for letting me, because I came on. I've never been on a podcast. I was on one episode and made you about puke because you were trying to eat snacks and drink bourbon after you've been drinking for 2 days straight.
That was a long couple of days.
But I enjoy this. This is definitely something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and through the podcast, I feel like the whole Whiskey Mutant thing has grown. I'm more confident about stuff. I'm
agree.
Putting out products and doing my pairings, and people are asking me to do other stuff with them, and it's all because of this. I would not be able to talk in front of a camera or talk in front of a microphone if it wasn't for me and you getting together once or twice a week.
Your comfortableness it has really, really improved since you were first on. I mean, like, you seem a lot more natural
Yeah.
than when we first started.
I mean, I'm
I
sitting
know
over here
that-
slouched. I'm just hanging on the mic. Before I was like, hey, Perry, how are you today? What am I going to say?
But I mean, like, allowing you to have, like, inside jokes and funnies and things, and just, you know, being able to, I don't know. It's changed the podcast for the better, I think. And I'm sorry, I'm going to let you finish. But, like,
go.
I have had, I think, over the past 4 months, better feedback for what we're doing than we have over the past 4 years.
I don't know what to say.
But I'm not trying to bait you into saying anything.
It's kind of what I was going to say. I think it's everybody that listens and everybody that's, you know, the community. They were quick to like send me messages or a text or something saying, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I like, you know, you're a little different than what's been on before. It feels a little different. It's something new." So I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody that just took their time to send a message or say, you know, it's fun.
Can I say though, I really hope I don't have to replace you. There's no
plan on it.
I mean, that's what I like to hear.
I can't move. I got a mortgage. I can't sell my house right now.
I mean, I'm not moving either for the time being, but
if we have to change hours or recording or something, you're stuck with me for a while.
I'm glad. That's all I wanted. I mean, honestly, like,
unless you get in a tour bus and just drive away, you know, doing a bourbon / concert tour thing.
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't put out enough music in the past few years to
me either
warrant any kind of tour. Yeah, unless you want to do singer-songwriter stuff or blues music.
I don't have time for that. I'm just ready for the adventure episodes.
Oh, I can't wait for those. Can't wait for them. Oh, man.
Are you done? Do you still have some in your glass?
I still got a little bit, but...
I'm going to have a little bit myself.
Okay.
Just making sure we both were. If we weren't drinking the same thing, I was going to get something different.
No.
So.
Wait, do you have something else?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to grab some of your
I was
stuff.
going to say, you have like a limited amount of room in your bag.
No. I was going to grab the stuff that I steal from you.
Okay.
I put it in my corner.
Have you had that...
The blend?
No. What is it called? The after hours or off the clock or whatever bourbon that's behind the new riff.
This.
Have you had it though?
No.
Yeah, we'll wait until another episode.
Okay.
Should we do some tips and bits?
Are we going to tell them what we're going to do from now on?
I think we should.
All right.
I'm going to let you introduce this because this was your idea, and I think this is just very much part of the podcast, but we want to be a little bit more deliberate with it.
So I was talking to Perry, and I really had fun doing a kind of actual review of the newest Spider-Man movie, because I feel like that's a movie a lot of people are going to watch. Even if you're not a geek or a nerd or a comic book fan, you're probably going to watch that.
Yeah.
So I said, Perry, why not, whenever a big premiere episode of a new show or a big movie that people are talking about, why don't we take like once a month, and during Tips and Bits, we do a semi-formal actual review of something. And do you know what just came out that I love?
The Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Dude.
So here we are, Tim Bip, Book of Boba Fett, episode 1.
I think with something like this, too,
Review.
we do like the first episode, and then when the show wraps up,
Yeah.
then we kind of...
I feel like the first episode of something like this is always the most talked about.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And then, like, once we get to the final episode of the season, then we can talk about the rest of it and everything. I loved this show.
I've watched it 3 times.
Have you really?
Yes.
I've only watched it the once, but I'm really squeamish when it comes to listening to a bunch of like reviews or Easter eggs or just people talking about like one episode of a thing.
Yeah.
But there was something about this episode that I don't know. I just really, really felt like so deeply that I loved, and I just wanted to kind of absorb other people's thoughts and feelings about it. And I think for the first time in a long time, maybe about a year since the final episode of The Mandalorian from season 2, I feel like we are finally getting more Star Wars the way that Star Wars was initially pitched to us.
Yes.
And let me say this. This is nothing to detract from the quality of the show or from how good this episode was. But I watched this and I went, I think I'm ready for more Jedi stuff. Does that make sense? Like, I
mean, when you hear what I say about this, you're going to say we're the same person.
But like, I am in the camp of, I really liked The Last Jedi. I really, really enjoyed that movie. Rise of Skywalker, I've kind of grown sour on as time has passed. But I think that Last Jedi is just a great piece about who Luke Skywalker is and his motivations. I do think that, of course, there are some weird filler moments that don't really need to be in the movie, but overall, I really, really enjoy it. But, man, I don't feel like we have gotten enough of what made Star Wars initially, which was, and I hate to boil it down to this, but like laser swords and the Force,
right?
And really cool little action set pieces of them having sword fights and everything. And it's, and I get it that people are wanting to see like the expanded universe and everything, but why aren't we getting like a High Republic live action show?
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting, a show of, I mean, the technology's there. We could see what it was like when Luke was training Kylo Ren. Mm-hmm. What was happening during that era. And that's not to take away at all from what the Book of Boba Fett is doing, because it's so good. It's so much fun. And I love the fact that, like, we're just watching him deal with the fact that there's all this destruction around him and his life is being picked up from shambles. And, there's this really cool character arc of Boba Fett, too, where he starts out really, really high as, like, the son of a very, very successful bounty hunter, and all of a sudden he's just plummeted to the bottom.
Yep.
And now he's back at the top in a different sense, but as a crime lord.
Yeah. Right?
And I love that. I love that story, and I think that it's being done so well. Jon Favreau is doing a great job with that show so far. I'm just missing what made Star Wars for me. I don't think that has to be more Skywalker stories. That's not really where I'm like feeling the emptiness.
Yeah.
Because I think that the Jedi are the crux of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I miss that. I miss that a lot. And I really hope that the next big foray, and I know that like the Ahsoka show's coming soon, Obi-Wan's coming soon as well, but even then, I mean, it's not like Obi-Wan in the Temple on Coruscant or anything. So anyway,
you want to know all that?
I'm sorry.
Watch Clone Wars, because that's where it's at.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I apologize. I've spoken for a long time on this,
but when you said what reminds you of Star Wars, we may be a little different on that, but I immediately thought of myself as a little kid watching Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And seeing Boba Fett fall into the Sarlacc. Okay, so if you haven't watched it yet, you're going to have to skip ahead. It's spoilers from here on out.
Yeah, I'm not going to cut this out the way that I did for Spider-Man. I don't think that it makes as much sense.
Right. I mean, it's been out. It's a 40-minute episode. If you really want to watch it, you've probably already watched it by now. And if not, maybe we'll make you want to go watch it. But
keep your eyes open like
yes.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes. So, okay, we're in 2021. And the fact that they choose to keep everything practical effects.
Yeah.
we see Boba Fett in the belly of the Sarlacc. And
not CGI.
Not CGI. And it legit looks like it was kind of made in the 80s. And I felt like I was a little kid watching this because to me, I see goo and I see like plastic and I see all this stuff. And I said, this is amazing because they made this look like I saw it when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
They could have done all this CGI stuff. And just that opening scene of him getting out of that and seeing him punching through that wall, and it looks like paper, kind of like that made me so happy. And it felt like I was watching Star Wars again as a little kid, and watching Return of the Jedi with puppets.
Oh, and don't get me wrong, and I don't mean to insinuate that I felt like this wasn't Star Wars.
No.
This was Star Wars.
Yes. No, I think we both felt the same thing. I'm just saying one part of it. You're saying the other part.
Yeah. Because
you weren't literally talking about the effects. You were talking about the story. I'm talking about the visual of this. I'm like, this is 1980s Return of the Jedi right here.
Yeah. And
seeing him finally get out of there, because we all, as little kids, were like, that dude's badass. Like, there ain't no way he's going down like that. Not only does he flamethrow through the wall of your sand pit monster, but then he crawls out from the side of it, and like, did he just crawl out?
How far did he go?
You know, and then I like that they kind of went back and forth from his current status becoming this new crime lord to showing him now he's in the hands of the sand people.
Yeah.
So, as far as a feeling goes, I love the look of this show. I love that they're sticking with the practical effects. It just feels like Star Wars based on the look of it.
Yeah, it's got that like gritty feel that. Yeah, you're right. Star Wars really hasn't had since like the 80s.
Yeah,
and I mean, I think that. I think that the prequels feel more like Star Wars than the sequel trilogy does. And again, I mean, part of that is because of, you know, it being the Skywalker trilogy or the Skywalker story in general, and just kind of like being, I don't know. It feels slightly removed from what Star Wars was at that point. This feels like a love letter to Return of the Jedi, and really all three of the original trilogy. It's mind-blowing to me that it feels as authentic as it does.
Yeah. It's just a great intro to our new and improved Boba Fett. We see him survive. We see all the crap he deals with to get to where he's going. And I'm assuming we're going to kind of see this similar way of telling the story. We're going to see him learning how to be the crime boss he is and dealing with, I mean, he finds out quick that he's not the toughest guy on the street. He's getting his ass kicked for a little while.
Yeah.
But then it cuts back to him surviving with the Sand People. So I think we're going to kind of see like that blend of like current status to him getting back to where he's at.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about with this arc that he's going through as it is, that, you know, he was this well-protected child. I mean, despite the fact that he was a clone, he still, you know, had measures in place so that he was safe, and he was
one of a kind, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, you see a lot of that in the Clone Wars and everything, but I think that this is going to be one of the better pieces of Star Wars lore that we are going to get, or that we have gotten even over the past few years, and maybe ever.
So
I'm having so much fun with it just after one episode.
So what would be? So I feel like even in The Mandalorian, like Boba Fett, like they just made all his scenes like badass. badass. Like,
Yeah.
so, like, what was one of your favorite, like, you just felt like he was a bad man again? Like, what scene got you?
Ooh.
I can think of two at the moment.
The one that jumps to mind at first is him killing the... I'm using this phrase, I don't know if it's right. The sandcore
Okay.
with the chain.
That's one of the ones when it, like, stops and he's just holding those chains. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's that... And this isn't really that he's... like super hardcore or anything, but I actually really liked that moment that he had with the guy who's the same race as Greedo.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was like, "Do you want me to cut your bonds?"
Yeah. Cut your bonds. And the guy's like,
Yeah, but like that moment caught me off guard.
right. Because we're only used to seeing this, like, cold-hearted bounty hunter. We don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And then he's all of a sudden like, hey, I'll help you escape. Like, let's do
We can
this.
escape together.
Yeah.
But that moment, like in a different way, made me really love
Right.
his character.
Yeah.
I don't know. This has done so much work for who Boba Fett is as
Yeah.
a character.
Well, they've made him more... There's more layers to him now. Instead
for
of
sure.
just, you know.
For sure.
I really like that spot, though, where the robots are just, like, putting his armor on. And he's just standing there.
Yeah.
And they're like... Ch, ch.
I love that.
Oh, my God.
It was like ancient pharaohs,
Yeah.
getting dressed, or ancient kings or whatever.
And then another part, like you said, is when he decides to let the man, I forgot their names, the pig guys.
The Gamorreans.
Gamorreans.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm going to keep them. Like, we're not going to torture these guys.
Yeah.
And then they show up at the in the middle of the episode protecting him, and it's like he's got his own little posse now. Like, yeah,
I loved it.
so good.
I really enjoyed this episode.
I think. Sorry.
No, I think we have a really good show ahead of us.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of humor. There's like some like nostalgia. There's stuff to make you feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff to like make you feel like Boba Fett. He's like not this one-dimensional character anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I keep forgetting her name. What's his sidekick?
Finnick Shand.
Finnick. And I love the chemistry between him and Finnick because it's like she's like just cold-hearted, like you should just kill these people. And he's like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to, rule with respect. And so I'm looking forward to seeing them go back and forth. And, I think we're going to see a little bit of Boba becoming Rage and then see him becoming what he is. And I just think it was great. I think it was a great first episode. And like you said, I look forward to it as well.
Absolutely. Man, I think we've gone far enough with this episode. We've gone on and on and on. But
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everybody. That's a great way to kick off the new year. Folks, thank you all so much for listening through yet another year of the podcast. We're basically starting year 5 right now.
Wow. It's like DC timeline right now. Year 5.
Year 5. Oh, man. Eric, again, thank you so much for everything you've done this year with the show. Thank you for being a part of it. I know that there are places where people can follow up with us.
I mean, people can see pretty much what we're doing all the time.
Just about.
So if you want to get some behind the scenes, extra episodes, uncut stuff, or just support the show because, we got to pay bills,
please
become a Patreon at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. If you want to send us an email with questions or comments, or you want to send us a sample, reach out at thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. If you want to start getting some merch, got some new stuff coming up there. Bourbonshop.threadless.com. You can find me on Shopify, whiskeymutant.shopify. If you want to leave a barrel rings where you talk to us, and you talk to us in our ear holes, and we'll talk to you back, not in real time, 859-428 8253. Join the Facebook group. This is My Bourbon Podcast Facebook group. Follow Perry on Facebook at My Bourbon Pod. Follow My Bourbon Pod on Twitter and Instagram at My Bourbon Pod. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff. Check out the YouTube. Perry goes live every Thursday, 8 p.m. This is My Bourbon Podcast on YouTube. And I usually join him about once a month, so we'll see what happens there. Whiskey Mutant on YouTube. I don't have an actual YouTube name yet because I only have like 33 subscribers. So subscribe. Maybe I'll get to make a official YouTube channel.
Get you to a hundo.
And I think that's it. I think I got them all.
I think you did.
Did I?
2?
Did I?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Pretty much, if you go to Google and say My Bourbon Podcast or at My Bourbon Pod or This is My Bourbon Podcast,
you're going to find us.
You're going to find us.
Yeah, pretty much. Next week, we unfortunately... the bird will land for one last official appearance on the podcast. It's our Fare Thee Well episode to Swan.
It's going to get rowdy.
It's going to be fun. Me. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to mess with Swan.
Don't tell him, though.
Don't tell him.
Anyway, guys, hope you all have a great start to your new year. Thank you so much for listening. As always, year 5 is getting off to a great start, I feel like.
Happy New Year!
It's me. That does it for this week. We'll see y'all real soon. Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.